Let's talk about censorship regarding vaccines and whether they work as well as they should and if they are dangerous to us. And I saw a video by Aaron and Melisa Dykes of Truthstream Media titled Free Speech and Shutting Down the Vaccine Debate. And just for the record, let me state something clearly. I am not anti-vaccine. The question is whether every vaccine is necessary or whether the additives in these vaccines are doing damage to you and whether or not we need them. Are there substitutes that we could have instead of what we have now? The problem is that the vaccine industry does not want any question raised over how these vaccines are made and whether there is a better, safer way to make these vaccines. Remember that every vaccine is an assault on the body because each vaccine is designed to encourage the body to create defenses against the virus or bacteria that it is in danger of being harmed by. Each of these assaults does damage. It's what an assault does. Now, the assault might be small enough for the body to recover from, and the reward might outweigh the risk. But we aren't being allowed to talk about this. This is what's bothering me. Again, I am not anti-vaccine, but not being able to have a discussion about what vaccine we should take and when we should take it is maddening. Does a baby who is 1 day old need to be assaulted by multiple vaccines of questionable efficacy? Have we really looked into the potential harm that these vaccines might do to a baby that is 1 day old? Why are we unable to discuss the risk-reward ratio of a vaccine? Why are these morons out there trying to shut down this conversation? Flat earthers are the dumbest morons on the planet, but I don't feel any need to shut them down. I'm just incredibly amazed by this desire to shut down this discussion about vaccines. Just because vaccines work doesn't mean that you should take every vaccine. Oh, and notice something interesting. When did this whole vaccine push, this dramatic increase in taking vaccines, start? In the 1980s. Why the 1980s? Because that was when the United States government gave the vaccine industry blanket immunity from lawsuits. That's right. You don't get to sue vaccine makers for the damage that they caused your child. I understand why Congress did this, and some vaccines are necessary for the common good. But the vaccine industry took this law and turned it into a monster. Worse, they then threw billions of dollars at federal and local governments so that they would require, as a bribe, they kind of grease the wheel to require you to take all of their vaccines. And they've made a lot of money on this scam. Do you remember what God said about the great whore who rides the beast? Quote, "And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived." Close quote. Revelation 18:23. I call her the Beast Rider, or just Beast Rider. And that word sorceries is pharmakia. Sound familiar? I'm sorry, but the Beast Rider looks a lot like America, and her capital is New York. You might think that the Beast Rider holds the reins of the beast in Washington, but think again. New York is where the rider sits, where all the world's banks and stock markets and bond markets must bow. The only question that I have is this. America or New York City is either the Beast Rider or a part of the beast. Take your pick, but either way, it's bad. But let's get back to the point. We are losing our freedom to speak, and it's maddening to watch.